right into this one. Everything that you need to know about travel nursing. Number one, you can't just start as soon as you graduate. That's something that I really didn't know when I was in nursing school. Like years ago, I knew that I wanted to travel nurse, and my plan was, oh, as soon as I graduate, I'm going to start traveling. Had no idea that you can't actually do that. So most travel nurse agencies require that you have 1 year of experience on the floor of the hospital. So you have to work, get a feel for everything, learn, and then they can send you out and nurse everywhere else, because you're not gonna have like lots of orientation. You're not gonna have time to really learn the flow of anything once you're travel nursing. So it's so important that you get that experience under your belt beforehand. Now, many companies will prefer that you have 2 years of experience before you actually go, but I will tell you this. A lot of people told me, just wait 2 years, get the 2 years done, and then start traveling. I was like, no, girl. I had an 18-month contract with my hospital, and as soon as that 18-month contract was up, I was out. So, I mean, you don't necessarily have to work 2 years. They just prefer it. But I was able to find an assignment within that 2-year time span. So you can do it. Just get that 1 year at least under your belt, and then you can start applying to jobs. Number two, this is so important for you to know as well. Prepare in advance. I know when I was applying to jobs, I was like, look, I can start whenever, when I graduated nursing school. But when you're actually applying to travel nurse agencies, it's something that you're going to want to do kind of in advance. I started applying to travel agencies in October of 2018, and I didn't start working until March of 2019. So there was about 5 months within that time frame. And I recommend this because travel nurse agencies will have you jumping through hoops to submit these applications. I am telling you, there's so much that you need to do before you actually can sign a contract and head off to your first assignment. So you're going to be doing these skills checklists that sometimes are very long and very time consuming. They make you go through every single thing that you've ever done on the floor, how comfortable you are with it, this and that. You're going to have to go through drug testing. You're going to make sure that you have all of your certifications in and up to date. Sometimes there are things that you would have to do for specific agencies in order to get a job. So it's very, very time consuming. And it's so important that you give yourself time, because you don't want to be crunching between like applying and, oh my gosh, I have to pack all my stuff, I have to prepare to move to this place, I have to find a place to live. No, just do it in advance, because you're going to be working at the same time, and it just makes everything so much more simple and so much more relaxed. It's not relaxed at all, but it makes it a ton better. So definitely do that. Number three, and this is adding to the reason why you should do this in advance. You are going to want to apply to different agencies, multiple agencies, at least 3. Everyone says, your magic number is 3. And so that could be very time consuming as well, because you're doing the exact same requirements for plenty of people. So 3 different agencies, and I will tell you why. Every agency is going to offer you different packages. It sounds crazy. I could be applying for a job in Tallahassee, Florida. So say I definitely want to go to Tallahassee, and I'm telling my agent that if I tell 3 different agents that, there is a chance that these 3 different agents will offer me 3 different packages at the same exact hospital, the same exact shift, doing the same exact job. You may get a different relocation fee or a relocation bonus. You may get a different weekly pay. You may get different stipends for housing and food. You may get different referral bonuses. Like, companies do things very, very differently. So it's so important that you have 3 different agencies, so that way you can say, okay, this is where I want to work, and see what all 3 of them say, because they work for you. Your recruiter works for you. It's so important to stress that. And you can say, no, no thanks, I can't take that, and go with a different agency. So definitely fish around, and definitely tell them when they ask, oh, what's your minimum? You're open. I'm open. Oh, I'm open. And just see what they tell you, because if you give them a minimum, a lot of times they will try to just lowball you and shoot for that. No. Just tell them that you're open, and then go with whoever offers you the best package, whoever offers the best thing for you. 4, research. You're going to want to research the city that you're going to after you find out, okay, all right, this is where I want to go. All right, let me learn about this city. Why do I want to live here? What are the attractions here? What am I going to do in my free time? Are there people that I'm going to be able to make friends with? Is there a church community? Things like that. Because you don't want to just go somewhere where it's like, okay, I'm a city girl, I love the city, and I'm going to the middle of the country, I'm going to be bored out of my mind and miserable for 13 weeks. Or vice versa, I'm a country girl, I love the wide open air, I love to be able to hike and things like that. I love mountains and all those different things. And then they send me in the middle of a city and I don't like it. So you can accept things that are very specific to your requirements. You can get specific as you want. So there are things like I was very interested in. I've worked in the neuro ICU. That's what I'm comfortable with, but I have ICU experience. So a lot of people would say, oh, well, we'll send you to the MICU, we'll send you to SICU. And because I can work in those environments. But for me, because I had done one travel assignment, it was very important for me to keep everything as simple and as the same as possible, because I didn't want all of that change, because I knew I was going to be learning a completely different environment and perhaps completely different policies. So I was like, nope, I want to keep it neuro ICU. I want to keep it my same charting system that I had back home. I want as many things to stay the same as possible. And you can work that out with your recruiter. So that's very, very big. Number 5, arrive early. Arrive early to your location. I arrived about 3 days early to my location. It was important for me to have a little bit of time because I didn't want to be scrambling to work. I wanted to find out how long it took me to get from where I was living to my apartment. You may want to sightsee before you go. You may want to get some rest before you go. Like, how much time did you have off from work at your staff job in this assignment? You may just want a little bit of rest and be able to explore the city. So do that, and definitely take the time to unpack, take the time to unwind, take the time to settle in, because you don't want to just be scrambling and all stressed out and then head to work with that type of energy. So go in advance. I definitely recommend that. Now, once you get to the job, you will have an orientation. So you'll orient with tons of different people. You may be working with them on your unit, you may not, but you will all orient together, and then you will head out to the floor and you'll have your orientation on the floor. A lot of time orientation is like 2 to 3 days. So, and that's just 2 to 3 shifts. So you're designated with a nurse, typically on day shift, and they're going to tell you how things go, where things are, and just let you get a feel for the place before they just like release you to the wild on your own. And then you're going to go ahead and be working by yourself on this unit. So it's very, very important as well that you are, you know, open-minded, ready to sink everything in, take great notes, pay great attention once you get on that floor. Also, it's very important that you're helpful and that you're pleasant. You have to be likable. At the end of the day, you know, the nurses that are on your unit have a relationship with their manager already. And I'm sure their manager is like, so how do you like this travel nurse? Or how do you like that travel nurse? Because that's how they get a feel for, okay, do I even want this nurse to stay here? So definitely be the best nurse you can be on your best behavior, be helpful. Don't be on your phone, don't be lazy. Just get up and do what you have to do, because you want to stay there for your full contract. You don't want to be canceled, and you may want to extend. Also, I thought this was very, very important. Do not miss work. There are some travel nurse agencies that will offer you paid time off. My particular agency does not. So if I miss work, I'm missing out on my hourly pay, I'm missing out on my stipend, so everything is prorated and cut down. So if I miss work, I'm just missing out on all of this money. Who's gonna pay my bills? I mean, it's why I'm here. And then also, it just makes you look bad. You're going to want to use the people at your assignment for references at your next assignment. You're also going to, like I said, not want to get canceled. So you just want to be on your best behavior. Like, don't do anything that makes you look bad. Do the best you can be the best you can be. It's only 13 weeks. Try not to miss work. So after you put in all this time on the floor, you made friends, you've had a great time, all of these different things, last, extend. Do you want to extend or not? So about maybe 5 weeks in, I was offered an extension, but there were some people that were there for maybe like 3 weeks that were offered an extension after I had arrived. My hospital was like in dire need of people. So once you're there for a while, you get a feel for the place, you get comfortable, you know the coworkers, they may or may not ask you to extend. Now this is based on several different things. Maybe your hospital budget just can't keep up with as many travelers anymore. Maybe you didn't do that great of a job. Maybe you didn't mesh with the people around you. I mean, it could be up to anything. It's just not necessarily whether you're a good nurse or not. But your hospital can possibly offer you to extend. They offered me either 13 weeks or 26 weeks. So I could stay for 3 more months or 6 more months. So that's typically how it goes. Like, do you want to extend for the exact same amount of time that you were there? Do you want to extend for a little bit further? And you can decide all that, and you can discuss it with your recruiter. Your recruiter will call you and let you know, okay, hey, they want to keep you, and then you can negotiate with them. So there's a lot of money that goes into preparing you to go to your first assignment. So you have to get drug tests, you may have to get a physical, and all these things are reimbursed from your travel nurse agency. Now, the second time when you're extending, they don't have to pay those fees anymore, but all of those fees are still allocated to you. So say for instance, oh, your drug testing costs this much, your physical costs this much, but you don't have to get a physical again because that assignment already knows everything about you. So that money you can negotiate with, like, okay, if I'm gonna extend, Miss or Mr. Recruiter, can you go ahead and get me a little bit more money the next time around? And that is often possible. So definitely don't be afraid to negotiate. You can negotiate before, you can negotiate on extensions, but don't be afraid to negotiate. Like, I need more money to relocate, or I feel like I need more money per hour. So definitely don't be afraid to talk to your recruiters about those things. Like I said in the beginning, they work for you. So I mean, just have that open and just comfortable relationship with them where you're comfortable bringing up those things, because this is your bill money, man. Number 8, this may be done before you're offered an extension or not, but set up your next job. Definitely want to stress this. When I was starting my first job, I ran into all kind of brick walls that I did not think that I would run into. Like, maybe it was because I was kind of picky, but I was like, dang, like I just thought that I would be able to go to the most fabulous places anywhere that I wanted, and it's not like that sometimes. Like, sometimes you just see these crazy towns where you're like, I would never want to live there. Sometimes it's hard to find a good fit for you. There are some hospitals that want to work you days and nights in the same weeks. Like, there are some things that you just may not be comfortable with, and so it's kind of hard to find the perfect fit. So I definitely recommend looking for your next assignment before your assignment is even finished. If you know, okay, I want to extend here and they offered me extension, you can sit back, relax, and chill. But if they've offered you an extension early on and you're like, no, I don't want to stay, I want to find somewhere else, definitely take the time to start looking. Normally jobs are posted about 6 weeks in advance, but you can accept them up to 2 weeks in advance. So between that 6 and 2 weeks, between the finale of your current contract, definitely be looking for jobs, new jobs. So also I wanted to touch on some questions that people sent me on social media. Someone asked, are you allowed to travel with other people? And did you get lonely during your assignment? Are you allowed to travel with other people? Yes, I'm actually traveling with my friend to my very next assignment. So we'll be going together, and that is very, very cost effective because, I mean, you can split a few things that I won't mention in this video because we don't want to get in no trouble. But yeah, so you can definitely travel with people. And they also asked, how many people can you travel with? That's really up to you. Like, how many people are you willing to pay for to live in a certain place, or how many people are you willing to live with, whether they're travel nurses or not. But my friend and I are travel nursing together, so it will be perfect. You can travel with others. My last assignment, I stayed by myself, and they asked, did I get lonely? I did not get lonely. There were times when I wanted to visit home, I wanted to visit family, but I was only 3.5 hours away from my family, so it wasn't very hard. And I had a community of people. It's so important to build a community where you are, and for me, that is church. We fellowship. I went to Bible studies. I went to church on Sundays whenever I was off. So I had kind of that community of people. I also met a soror on the job when I was there. So, and my coworkers were amazing. We went out to breakfast and things like that. So it was very welcoming and warm where I was. So it definitely didn't get lonely for me, but I would recommend trying to find a community of people. There is a video that I have that is on moving to another state, and I talk about building a community and ways to do that in that video. So check that out as well if you have any questions about, like, well, how do I find friends? So yeah, those are my questions on social media. A lot of people wanted to know where I'm going next, and I'll touch on that in the other video. But yeah, so I wish you all the best of luck. If there's any more questions or anything that I can answer for you in another video, comment those below. Any videos that you would like to see. I have a blog that'll be listed below. There's ways to follow me on social media, and you can DM me. I answer all types of questions all the time from people. So yeah, I will see you all next time.